Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Jaya Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtapraya Shubhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtaki. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, today we're starting new chapter, chapter 21, the movements of the sun, text number 1 onwards. Shri Shukavacha etavanev bhuvalyasya sannivesha pramana lakshanato vyakyataha. Shukdev Goswami said, My dear king, I have thus far described the diameter of the universe, 50 crores of yojans or 4 billion miles, and its general characteristics according to the estimation of learned scholars. Text number 2. As a grain of wheat is divided into two parts, and one can estimate the size of the upper part by knowing that of the lower, so expert geographers instruct one can understand the measurements of the upper part of the universe by knowing those of the lower part. The sky between the earthly sphere and heavenly sphere is called Antariksh or outer space. It adjoins the top of the sphere of earth and the bottom of that of heaven. So I hope you don't ask me questions on this because I have no idea. Simple as that. I'm completely blank on this. I hope Prabhupada gives me some understanding of what he's writing. Text number 3. In the midst of that region of outer space, Antariksh is the most opulent sun, the king of all the planets that emanate heat, such as the moon. By the influence of its radiation, the sun heats the universe and maintains its proper order. It also gives light to help all living entities see. While passing toward the north, toward the south, or toward the equator, in accordance with the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, it is said to move slowly, swiftly, or moderately. According to its movements in rising above, going beneath, or passing through the equator, and correspondingly coming in touch with the various signs of the zodiac, headed by Makar, Capricorn, days and nights are short, long, or equal to one another. Lord Brahma prays in his Brahm Samhita, I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, under whose control even the sun, which is considered to be the eye of the Lord, rotates within the fixed orbit of eternal time. The sun is the king of all planetary systems and has unlimited potency in heat and light. Although the sun is described as Bhagavan, the most powerful, and although it is actually the most powerful planet within the universe, it nevertheless has to carry out the order of Govinda, Krishna. The sun god cannot deviate even an inch from the orbit designated to him. Therefore, in every sphere of life, the supreme order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is carried out. The entire material nature carries out his orders. However, we foolishly see the activities of material nature without understanding the supreme order and supreme person behind them. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, Maya Adhyakshena Prakriti, material nature carries out the orders of the Lord, and thus everything is maintained in an orderly way. So as Prabhupada writes, very powerful statement, the sun god cannot deviate even an inch from the orbit designated to him. Wow. And huge, huge planets. And we just read about the Bhumandal with so many mountains and the trees, huge, huge trees, and how big the universe is. And we'll read about sun also, how big the sun is, and the orbit. Prabhupada said it cannot even deviate an inch, and it cannot even slow down its speed. It's just supposed to rotate at the given speed. Everything is controlled. Everything is managed properly by the energy of Krishna. Krishna himself doesn't even have to get into it. And the scientists say, no, everything came on its own. Never happened by chance. How can anything happen like this by chance? Even in our kitchen, in our homes, I mean, do we really believe that by chance the roti comes out and the sabji becomes by chance? No. Matajis have to work so hard to prepare everything. If they say, oh no, by chance it happened, who will say this? Or we just keep the atta and the sabji. By chance, it will become roti and sabji. Nothing will happen. So if in a kitchen nothing happens by chance, so how can the whole creation happen by chance? Text 4. When the sun passes through Mesh, Aries, and Tula, Libra, the durations of day and night are equal. When it passes through the 5 signs headed by Vrishab, Taurus, the duration of days increase until Cancer, and then it gradually decreases by half an hour each month until day and night again become equal in Libra. So this astrology has been in calculation, has been in Vedic scriptures, and all these pandits have been there. Ages and ages they've been calculating. So, and it's all mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. Sun moves through all the 12 houses. So this is very, very old science, and it was known by in India for such a long time. Text 5. When the sun passes through the 5 signs, beginning with Vrishchik, Scorpio, the duration of the days decrease until Capricorn, and then gradually it increases month after month until day and night become equal in Aries. Text 6. Until the sun travels to the south, the days grow longer, and until it travels to the north, the nights grow longer. And it happens every year, same thing, over and over again. Text 7. Shukdev Goswami continued, my dear king, as stated before, the learned say that the sun travels over all sides of Manasuttar mountain in a circle whose length is, now the length is also given, exact figures, 95,100,000 yojans, or 760,800,000 miles. Wow. On Manasuttar mountain, due east of Mount Sumeru, is a place known as Devadhani, possessed by King Indra. Similarly, in the south is a place known as Samyamani, possessed by Yamraj. In the west is a place known as Nimalochani, possessed by Varuna. And in the north is a place named Vibhavari, possessed by the moon god. Sunrise, midday, sunset, and midnight occur in all those places according to specific times, thus engaging all living entities in their various occupation duties and also making them cease such duties. Cease such duties means they're going to die. So this is the sun travels over all sides of Manasuttar mountain in a circle whose length is such a huge length, 760,800,000 miles. Text 8 and 9. The living entities residing on Sumeru mountain are always very warm as at midday because for them the sun is always overhead. Although the sun moves counterclockwise, facing the constellations, with Sumeru mountain on its left, it also moves clockwise and appears to have mountain on its right because it is influenced by Dakshinavart wind. People living in countries at points diametrically opposite to where the sun is first seen rising will see the sun setting. And if as a straight line were drawn from a point where the sun is at midday, the people in countries at the opposite end of the line would be experiencing midnight. Similarly, if people residing where the sun is setting were to go to countries diametrically opposite, they would not see the sun in the same condition. So those who want to do some more research, they can, but I think we'll just zip through. Text 10. When the sun travels from Devadhani, the residence of Indra, to Samyamani, the residence of Yamaraj, it travels 23,775,000 yojans, or 190,200,000 miles in 15 ghatikas. So 15 ghatikas means 6 hours. The distance indicated by the word Sadhikani is Panchvinshati Sahasradhikani, or 25,000 yojans. That plus 2.5 crores and 12.5 lakhs of yojans is the distance the sun travels between each two cities. This comes to 23,775,000 yojans. The total orbit of the sun is 4 times that distance, that is 760,800,000 miles. So don't worry, I'll not ask you these figures to memorize. Text 11. From the residence of Yamaraj, the sun travels to Nimalochani, the residence of Varuna. From there to Vibhavari, the residence of the moon god, and from there again to the residence of Indra. In a similar way, the moon, along with the other stars and planets, becomes visible in the celestial sphere and then sets and again becomes invisible. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Nakshatranam aham shashi. Of stars, I am the moon. This indicates that the moon is similar to the other stars. The Vedic literature informs us that within this universe, there is one sun which is moving. The Western theory that all the luminaries in the sky are different suns is not confirmed in the Vedic literature. Nor can we assume that these luminaries are the suns of other universes, for each universe is covered by various layers of material elements. And therefore, although the universes are clustered together, we cannot see from one universe to another. In other words, whatever we see is within this one universe. In each universe, there is one Lord Brahma and there are other demigods on other planets. But there is only one sun. So the source of heat and light in a given universe is just one sun. So how powerful that sun is. Text 12. Thus the chariot of the sun god, which is Traimaya, or worshipped by the words Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha, travels through the 4 residences mentioned above at a speed of, now that's a speed of sun god, so a chariot, 3,400,800 yojans, or 27,206,400 miles in a muhurta. Wow. Text 13. The chariot of the sun god has only one wheel, okay, which is known as Samvatsar. The 12 months are calculated to be its 12 spokes. The 6 seasons are the sections of its rim. And the three Chaturmasya periods are its three-sectioned hub. One side of the axle carrying the wheel rests upon the summit of Mount Sumeru, and the other rests upon Manasotar mountain. Okay. Affixed to the outer end of the axle, the wheel continuously rotates on Manasotar mountain like the wheel of an oil pressing machine. So it has only one wheel. Wow. And the axle is resting on Sumeru mountain and Manasotar mountain. And the wheel continuously rotates on Manasotar mountain. So it means the axle on the Sumeru mountain is fixed. Text 14. As in an oil pressing machine, this first axle is attached to a second axle, which is 1/4 as long. The upper end of this second axle is attached to Dhruvaloka by a rope of wind. That only Krishna can do all this. I mean, our engineering fails over here. Text 15. My dear king, the carriage of the sun god's chariot is estimated to be 3.6 million yojans, or 28,800,000 miles long, and 1/4 as wide. That's how big the chariot is, or carriage is. The chariot's horses, which are named after Gayatri and other Vedic meters, are harnessed by Arunadev to a yoke that is 900,000 yojans wide. This chariot continuously carries the sun god. In the Vishnu Puran, it is stated the 7 horses yoked to the sun god's chariot are named Gayatri, Brihati, Ushnik, Jagati, Trishtup, Anushtup, and Pankti. These names of various Vedic meters designate the 7 horses that carry the sun god's chariot. Text 16. Although Arundev sits in front of the sun god and is engaged in driving the chariot and controlling the horses, he looks backward towards the sun god. In the Vayu Puran, the position of the horses is described. Although Arundev is in the front seat controlling the horses, he looks back towards the sun god from his left side. Okay, text 17. So even if this was not amazing enough, now there's more. There are 60,000 saintly persons named Valkilyas, each the size of a thumb. I don't know whose thumb, my thumb or sun god's thumb, who are located in front of the sun god and who offer him eloquent prayers of glorification. Similarly, 14 other saints, Gandharvas, Apsaras, Nagas, Yakshas, Rakshasas, and demigods, who are divided into groups of 2, assume different names every month and continuously perform different ritualistic ceremonies to worship the Supreme Lord as a most powerful demigod, Suryadev, who holds many names. In Vishnu Puran, it is said, worshipping the most powerful demigod Surya, the Gandharvas sing in front of him, the Apsaras dance before the chariot, the Nishachas follow the chariot, the Panagas decorate the chariot, the Yakshas guard the chariot, and the saints called the Valikilyas surround the sun god and offer prayers. The 7 groups of 14 associates arrange the proper times for regular snow, heat, and rain throughout the universe. Wow. Text 90. My dear king, in his orbit through Bhumandal, the sun god traverses a distance of 95,100,000 yojans at the speed of 2,000 yojans and 2 kroshas in a minute. That is 16,004 miles in a moment. That's how fast the chariot goes. It's just mind-boggling. I don't know how he does that. So thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of 5th canto, 21st chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Movements of the Sun. The only thing that I want to add to this is when Hanumanji, when he was born, so his mother was leaving. His mother was actually long story, so different mothers, but he is known as Anjaneya. So Anjana was leaving him with his father, and she was going back to the heavenly planets. And Hanumanji asked her, Mother, where are you going? I'm hungry. What I'm going to eat? She said, just eat any fruit. What kind of fruit? It should be just red and ripe. It should look ripe, and eat it. So Hanumanji saw sun god, this chariot, and he looked red and bright, and he was hungry, and a little baby Hanuman. But Hanumanji is expansion of Lord Shiva. So Hanuman just jumped, and he ate sun god. He just followed the whole thing. Now there was darkness in the universe, and all the demigods were wondering what happened. Where did sun go? What's happening? They went to Brahmaji, and they were worried. And Indra came towards Hanumanji with his thunderbolt on his Airavat. And Hanuman saw Indra. Oh, actually, before that, Rahu, actually it was a time for solar eclipse. And Rahu got bewildered. He said, it was time for me to eat sun. And who has eaten sun? He went to Brahmaji. What is this happening? Your whole Srishti is messed up. And Brahmaji was worried, what is happening? So Indra came, and Indra was coming on his Airavat with the thunderbolt, and Hanuman, although he had followed sun, now he saw Indra coming on Airavat, and Airavat was white, pure white elephant, very illuminating, and he saw, oh, maybe this is another fruit I have to eat. So he just extended his hand to eat Airavat. And Indra got scared. What is this? Who is this creature? We have never seen this. Looks like a monkey, but we don't know what is it. So he released his thunderbolt. So thunderbolt hit Hanumanji on the chin, and he fell down on the ground. And sun came out, and he fell on the ground. He was unconscious. Now, Vayudev, he got angry at Indra and sun. Why? How come you hit my son so hard? He's unconscious. So Vayudev just withheld Vayu from all over the universe. Now, if Vayu is not there, if we cannot breathe, then whatever we have, it's of no value. All the demigods then ran towards Brahmaji. Brahmaji, you please save us. So Brahmaji came down, and with all the demigods, and they understood the situation. This is son of Vayu, very, very powerful. So Brahmaji asked everybody to give benedictions to Hanumanji. So he's known as Hanuman because somewhere, I don't remember the exact Sanskrit, but Hanuman means one whose chin was little damaged because of this thunderbolt of Indra. So everybody gave Hanumanji different benedictions. And even Brahmaji gave him benediction that even my Brahmastra will not have any effect on you. And everybody came, and everybody gave different knowledge. And Hanumanji was happy, and somebody gave the knowledge that which fruit to eat and which not to eat, because that's how the whole problem started. So he had the knowledge. Ultimately, Brahmaji knew that this is Hanumanji who's going to help Lord Ram in his pastimes. So, giving him all the benedictions, satisfying Hanumanji, satisfying Vayudev, all the demigods left. Now Hanumanji grew little bit more, although he was very naughty. Yeah, he's monkey in the monkey body. So his father told him, "Don't be so naughty here. This is not right." And he would bother all the sages in different ashrams. And one sage then cursed him that you will forget all your powers. Because of your powers, you don't respect anybody. And when somebody reminds you of those powers, and when you're serving Lord Ram, then you'll remember those powers and you'll get back those powers. So he got sobered up, but still he had so many powers. So then his father said, now you go and get some knowledge. Where do I go and get knowledge? Go to Sun God. He is the source of all the knowledge. So Hanumanji again flew to Sun God, and Sun God was in a chariot, and Suryadev again got scared. He said, now he's grown big, now what mischief he's going to do? When he was little, he just followed me. So Hanumanji came and he paid obeisances. He said, well, I'm not here to swallow you, don't worry, I just want knowledge, Vedic knowledge. Suryadev said, well, I can give you Vedic knowledge, but I don't stop. If I stop, the whole creation will go upside down. I don't stop. So what to do? Hanumanji said, okay, I'll move with you. I'll move with the chariot. I'll sit on the chariot. So they said, no, I got so many sages sitting on the chariot. You sit in the chariot, chariot will stop. Hanumanji said, okay, I'll fly with you. Fly along with the chariot. But the condition was he has to fly backwards, looking towards the sun god, because he was getting the knowledge. So this is how he flew along with this chariot of Suryadev, looking towards sun god with this back, and got all the Vedic knowledge. And then he came back. So many wonderful stories are there in Vedic scriptures. But obviously, those who don't have faith, they'll say, this is all mythology. But mythology doesn't speak of all these exact figures. And Shukdev Goswami, and then later on Sut Goswami, had better things to do than write or speak of mythology, of fictional stories. So this is not mythology. This is exactly what it is. And only Krishna can do some creation like that. We make a small building, of course, for us it's a skyscraper or a big airplane or something, and we get very proud of it. Of course, it takes us years and years and years to first design it and then build it and then maintain it. But Krishna, just by his desire, he just creates, or not even Krishna, it's created by Mahavishnu. Amazing. And this is just a sun gods, the movement of sun, and there are so many other planets that we'll study tomorrow, the orbits of the planets, chapter 22. So we'll stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, I know you have already asked that do not ask any questions on this chapter.
Not on these figures, idea. Your voice is breaking.
Can't resist myself. There is one question on there is one thing. It's like it's mentioned that from here there are two mountains on left and right hand side of it, and then it's mentioned like it's just traveling to some place. But then in real, the solar system is the sun is stick to one place, and it's just on the orbits, all the planets are moving. So I mean, just practically, I mean, I even
No,
also
no,
don't know
no.
much about it,
See,
but
sun is
is
moving.
it like revolving around?
The sun is moving
So
around
is that like
Sumeru
circular
mountain.
motion or like what?
Yeah. The chariot goes from Neemlochani to
And where is that?
Vibhavari to the where is that? That is mentioned. It's on the north side is there's an east side of the Sumeru mountain is this. It's mentioned there.
So just one more thing, Prabhuji, like this, the mountains which is mentioned here, these mountains are there. Where is it? Like there are planets in the earth or on like what we call Antariksha or universe.
They
These
are in the universe. See this Manasotar mountain, it is mentioned, and then
mountains are
Sumeru
where
mountain.
exactly? Is it inside or it's just there is an mountains kind of right?
So for all this model, we'll go to TOVP when the model is placed there in the temple, and then we'll try to understand. Otherwise, there's no way we can understand. See, but one thing is, sun god is moving always on the chariot. And now if we go to Earth planet, so Earth planet is rotating around sun. Sun is moving and the Earth is rotating around sun.
Yeah.
And moon is rotating around Earth. So that
Yeah.
it is possible. Why not? This is super engineering.
Absolutely, Prabhuji.
And
because
another
I give
thing,
this example to anyone.
Mm-hmm.
I give this
Another
example to
thing is
anyone. If somebody says
all these planets are moving at the same speed in the same orbit. They don't move here or there, slow down or speed up. And Earth, as we know, is also tilted at its axis. It's not straight. And it's still tilted. Same angle, same axis, it's still tilted. This is how Krishna has created it. And if somebody says nobody has done it, and nobody's controlling it right now, well, you got to admit him some mental hospital.
Yeah, do agree, Prabhuji. In fact, I give this example. I mean, this is the best miracle or magic which Lord has given to us. How can it be possible that whatever one dwarf planet, 8 planets, and then all are surrounding the sun, and it's just revolving on the exact axis? Not like you mentioned, it's just little tilted, and but still on the same axis, it's moving around.
Yeah.
Really, absolutely magical, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Okay, I guess we can stop here. You all have a safe and wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Krishna.
Hare Krishna.